This episode of WoW Weekly is brought to you by WoWweekly.net, your source for Warcraft and Blizzard news, guides, and editorials.
This week in Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor has gone into the beta, and the stress test certainly had a lot of crashes involved. Faction hubs in Draenor are being moved just outside of Asheran, and the Heirloom tab will likely not make it into patch 6.0. I'm Mezzy, and welcome to WoW Weekly episode number 38. This week I'm joined by LJ, who's wearing an orange shirt for tonight. How are you, LJ?
It's good that you see, of course,
Yes.
that you saw that. I'm doing quite well. Yourself?
Sick, stressful period finally done. Body crashes into oblivion.
Okay.
I saw that. Also joining us this week is Matt. How are you, Matt?
I'm not too bad, how are you? Been a bit sleepy today, but alright.
Is that why you almost forgot the podcast?
Well, forget.
Forget's a big
films.
word.
Forget's a big word. Watching films more correctly and contemplating going for a wander outside, so you're actually quite lucky that I was in at the time. All those type
We
of
feel
things.
so lucky.
Oh yeah, definitely. LJ, I think we're
So
going to need to
you
start
should.
looking for his replacements. I don't think this is working out after almost a year.
Yeah, we've had a couple of other people in this,
Yeah.
so I mean, sure.
But you have to understand that we would say would have done this last night as well, but I had prior arrangements there, aka food related. So
And food
Fish-
beats a podcast any day.
well, when it's a new, may I say, international restaurant, they have lots
McDonald's.
of. No,
Finally get to your town. Wow.
McDonald's. Oh, yeah,
Uh-huh.
Ronald. But no, it was like an all-you-can-eat buffet of random world foods.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, now that got your attention.
Not really.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Matt, we're so impressed by that. We really are. So, anyway, this is our first live stream. It's really more of a test live stream, I guess, because we haven't ever broadcasted the podcast recording live before. But right now we don't have any viewers, so who knows if we'll get any today. It really was short notice and was only just broadcasted on the, social media. So we'll see how this
You can always
goes.
try it out, huh?
Hmm?
You can always try it out. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I think we'll continue making use of the live stream. If we're not raiding tomorrow, there will be a live stream of the Warlords of Draenor beta tomorrow evening. If at least the servers don't keep crashing like they did on Friday. That was pretty terrible.
well, we'll see, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
still a beta. I mean, stuff like that will happen.
Yeah, well, considering it was the same patch as on Thursday that crashed every few minutes. Not sure why we went into beta in the first place.
Anyway, does that lead on to a?
Yes, well, first, you wanted to talk about Double Agent, the now level 90 neutral panda. How much time did he need for that, Matt?
Apparently, it was 173.5 days.
Wow, that's his slash played. So a half a year of playing non-stop, basically.
Yep. He said apparently
Some people are insane, aren't they?
it's apparently he got the achievement from the level 90 Alliance, level 90 Horde, but then started his panda and thought, well, they're neutral. That's another. You don't have to pick a side. So he has never left the original Pandaren starting area because the only way you can leave is to choose a side.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done it all by basically questing, killing mobs at the start, exploration at the start, and the rest of it is done apparently mining and herbalism. I think he said something like from level 29 onwards, he was getting 20 EXP per like the silver leaf and the other one, and then 30 for earth root, and that's what he did the entire way.
Well, Whatever makes him happy, I guess.
Oh yeah, if you don't want to go batshit crazy by the end of it, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's an achievement. You could say that for sure.
Oh
I'm
hell
surprised
yeah!
LJ hasn't tried it, to be fair, with his 8 million alts.
Yeah,
I was
really
gonna try
quite
something like that.
disappointing.
I am disappointing to you guys, so
Yeah,
Why haven't you done it, LJ? Come on.
because I don't want to go batshit crazy,
but you
like I
already
just
are.
said.
But you already are, LJ. It's fine. Just
Yeah, but
go
not
for
not
it.
not worse. Not make it any worse. I mean, then it would be really. Then I couldn't even do the podcast anymore.
I think
And
that
wouldn't that be a shame?
Yes, because you'd have to find somebody new again,
Again.
huh?
again.
Seeing
Like
as this
tanks
is
and
Matt,
stuff.
seeing as this is Matt's last podcast.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
It's like tanks all over again.
Oh dear God, I had to re-roll for that. I can't re-roll into two other people now, can I?
Well,
So-
depending what type of
Try
test
harder.
you're on, and depending, some people try at times.
Oh well. So shall we get into the real Warcraft news this week?
Oh, can do,
Shall we?
darling.
I mean, that's why we're here. Oh, he did it.
He got one in.
Yep.
Kinky.
Alright, so Warlords of Draenor has gone from the Friends and Family Alpha into the beta in under a month. As I was just slightly complaining about the no patching and still going
Only,
into
only
beta.
slightly. Only
Only
slightly.
slightly. Should it already have gone into beta so quickly when the servers were still constantly crashing and it hadn't been fixed yet? I mean,
No.
going for a stress test is good. You need to beta test for that. But if the previous day the server was crashing like every 5 minutes, why do a stress test when you know it's going to crash anyway?
Because it's Blizzard.
I can't
I don't-
comment.
No, because you can go on it, huh?
I can't go on it.
No, but I mean, I don't know why they did it so early and so fast before it's even stable. So it's a bit weird.
You've got
say
to
the
think
least.
part of it is public pressure, and they
Yeah, but
realize. I think they've
Blizzard never
realised.
subdues the never.
Well, I think they've now realised that they are taking a lot of flack for everything. I don't think it's just. Let's put it this way: we do this podcast. We have a bit of a whinge and whine every now and then. But let's just put it this way: if we're having a little bit of moan about it, you can guarantee that there's going to be other people sitting there and going, "What are you playing at? This is out of order."
Yeah.
It's not just going to be coming from. They are getting a lot of people now, and I think I could presume a lot of the top guilds. I think a lot of the top guilds now are like trying to make it a little bit more interesting, having the races and stuff like that involved, having do you know what I mean, all these other things that are involved. But I just think that they are going to start getting a lot more slack. So I think they just sit there and go, yeah, I think if we do get the alpha done, brilliant. Got the alpha. Because the alpha only went into, I think, the next stage
3
of
or
Friends.
4 weeks ago.
I think it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, wasn't it? I think that we
Yeah,
went
3
to the next
weeks,
stage
more
of Friends
likely.
Family where the 5 people we had on the list for our team to do it, 4 of them got an invite. Not Bitter and Twisted at all. And then
June
then-
10th was when most of us got into the alpha, and that was less than a week after it went into Friends and Family Alpha.
yeah, and that was also only the Horde side. They only tested the Horde
Yeah.
side, so they never even
One
tested
zone.
any of the Alliance zones or anything. So it does seem, unless they were very confident in their ability of everything else, if you know what I mean, unless they were very, very confident on everything else they had, all the other zones, because I do know the reason everything got delayed, they have said many, many times, was solely down to the they weren't happy with the way the first couple of zones went.
Exactly, yeah.
So unless they are happy with everything else, but as you said, now the servers keep crashing all the time, which again is slightly disturbing for saying they've updated a lot of technology, but you would have thought that the servers should be relatively stable.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
And then to go from only testing one zone to announcing the next zone was coming out it was down. Wasn't it down all week after they announced that as well? Because I don't.
Well, this is the timeline. Last weekend, so on Friday, I believe it was Friday or Thursday last week, the beta alpha servers went down because they tried to patch Shadow Moon Valley, but well, let's just say it was hell. The 46-bit client wasn't working at all. It crashed every single time, which was already a big red flag. Then if you actually got into the alpha via the 32-bit client, now this is just based on personal experience. I'm not sure if it was actually the case, but every time you exit the game through the escape menu, it seemed like that crashed the server. I'm not sure if that was actually the cause or it was just a coincidence every time I used exit game. I only did that twice, by the way, because gave up straight away. But that was when Shadow Moon Valley was first patched. Of course, it went down, and they took the alpha down for the entire weekend. At least until Monday. Then on Monday, they said they still weren't done, so it went down until Tuesday. Again, still not happy, to Wednesday or Thursday, I believe, even. Yeah, it was in the night from Wednesday to Thursday for Europe. So it was still Wednesday afternoon for the US. The servers were up for like 50 minutes, I believe. They kept crashing again. Some people were able to get a little bit of footage, live streaming, and screenshots done. But it went down again pretty quickly for the rest of Thursday. Then, Thursday night, the announcement came, the beta invites went out for Friday. So the servers weren't stable at all, the build wasn't stable at all, yet they still decided to go into beta the very next day before even alpha testing the Shadow Moon Valley, because let's face it, the only alpha testing that has really been done, at least for friends and family, phase was Frostfire Ridge. Of course, internally the other zones will have already been tested, of course. But for people like us, for friends and family of the Blizzard employees, it was just the one zone. And then the second zone, Shadow Moon Valley, which was crashing every single time and hasn't really been stable. So around midday on Friday, the server did go up. The Tanan Jungle experience, which is basically the intro to Warlords of Draenor, wasn't available yet. So that would go up on 2 p.m. PST, which was 11 p.m. our time, so Central European time zone. And, well, earlier in the day you were already on. Things were crashing anyway. So it wasn't really looking so good. So then the official beta test started 11 p.m. Well, let's just say it was hell. Crashing every 2-3 seconds. The character lists weren't loading because they had done a full character wipe. So the entire database had to be looked up for your character list every single time. Not sure why. But anyway, that caused some bugs with character lists as well. And it was just hell. It hasn't been stable, and I don't get why they went into beta when it wasn't stable at all yet for a stress test to be done properly.
As I said, the only way you can think about it is that they've had a lot of people do questions here and there about why haven't you done this, why haven't you done that.
Mm-hmm.
And they've probably sat there and thought, actually, if we can get it into beta now, this may happen or this may happen. And unfortunately, it's backfired.
Oh yeah, big time.
Very big time. I mean, yeah, it was totally. There was nothing to do on that, or nothing to do. There was nothing was able to happen on that on the beta now at the moment, and it's just it's not functioning as a beta should. And I'm wondering what they're going to do about it now.
Well, I haven't had the time to test since Friday night. It's Sunday afternoon now, but I assume the events are up. Not as many people are playing. It's early morning now in the US, so if we went on now and suddenly did a live stream event combined with the podcast, who knows, we might be able to get some done. I might actually test it after the podcast, but we'll see.
Then you can tell me all about it.
Exactly, we can tell you all about it. But, yeah, it hasn't been... I get alpha beta testing, how it works. I've been in many of the alpha slash beta testing periods of the Blizzard games in the last, let's see, 2000, let's say 5 years. Since I met someone who works slash worked at Blizzard, that has certainly helped my experience in that regard. But it just hasn't been good. It shouldn't have gone into beta. If it's crashing, fine. It's part of alpha slash beta testing, but don't invite thousands of more people when it's still broken and not really available to test yet.
Yeah, it's a very bad decision to actually increase your load on something that is barely handling the load as it is.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
because server load tests will be needed, of course, because
Yeah, of course.
if I understand correctly, both Alliance and Horde will be going to the same zone at the start of Warlords of Draenor. Now, I really hope they don't do any vehicle stuff, because I remember the Mist of Pandaria launch very, very well.
Oh,
And-
I remember that.
Oh, that was terrible. I
That
did not
was-
like that.
One of the funniest decisions of all time
3
Okay.
hours on that ship.
that came to fruition, and everyone was sitting there going, "Yeah, that was a good idea."
Yeah, I mean, if we go back to the Mist of Pandaria launch, surely Blizzard would have realized that the server load would be high, and the questing experience with vehicles is a bad idea. Those things are not the most responsive things in World of Warcraft.
You think so, but Blizzard still does a lot of stuff where when you say of what you say is like, really, Blizzard, why the hell did you think that was a good idea?
Yeah.
So,
So, anyway, back to the beta. Surprised that it has gone into beta so early?
Yeah, I am.
yeah,
So as you said, there's a lot of bugs and everything to find out. They've only done the other testing on the first part. Yes, it is a bit of a surprise.
If we look now at Alpha being out for less than a month, now we're in beta. How long could it take for an actual Warlords of Draenor release? Could
Well,
it
that's
be
just-
sooner than December now?
Well, I think like we're at June now. How long the beta's
Almost
normally?
July. July's
Beta.
on Monday.
Beta's normally about 3 months, aren't they?
No, 6.
It's 6 months.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, I think weren't we saying that wasn't that including the? I can't remember the time period we were looking at.
No,
It
that's
stopped, yeah.
excluding Alpha.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say they've done this one quick. If they're normally 6 months, you're looking at December, but they're looking at quick. Say even if you bet 3 months, you're looking at July, you're looking at September, October time,
Yeah.
and that's probably at a push.
Yeah, because do you think they'd be able to get all of the testing done for all of the zones and all of the dungeons and raids as well in 2 months' time?
It
3 months,
depends.
maybe?
I think it depends on what's been done already. What do we know has been done? As you said, apparently the delay in everything was the starting zones. They were happy with the other zones.
Yeah.
So maybe they're expecting that actually it will be quite a quick turnaround.
I guess that is possible because we also have that PvP server now that's really purely for testing PvP stuff. So they already get to test out that side of the game as well, as long as along with the level 100 balance stuff, because theory crafters go to that server as well to already test the level 100 numbers out.
Yeah.
So I guess it is possible because we have the simultaneous testing, but I'm worried because Frostfire wasn't really done yet. Shadow Moon, well, we've already talked about that. So it's all a matter of can they fix these major bugs quickly. If so, then who knows? 3 months, 4 months for a release is quite possible. But otherwise, I'm a bit worried because they wouldn't release it just before BlizzCon in November. They wouldn't do that.
no, probably not.
You don't know. Would they
No,
know?
it would
stay
be weird
home and
because
raid.
BlizzCon is a perfect moment to actually try and hype it up even more.
Along with face many angry fans that
That you've got to think. What do they want to do? Do they seriously want to have a BlizzCon where all everyone is doing is basically
It's happened before.
Oh yeah, there is that. It's just sat there, just what you're playing at, and that's all. That is what people are going. You'll have the diehards. I love you, Blizzard, but a lot of people are going to go. Are going to be sitting there going, "What are you lot playing at? This is like taking the piss now." But you never know. Yeah, they could build up the hype. They could announce. You never know. There might be something. Say it comes out a couple of weeks after BlizzCon or something like that. They could announce something very, very late in the day that's already been implemented and not many people know about.
Yeah, but one of the things that kind of worries me then is, I said this in the quick news intro as well, that the Heirlooms tab will likely not make it into patch 6.0. Okay, that was announced at BlizzCon last year in November, so let's say Warlords isn't released when we get to BlizzCon. So first a delay and then removing stuff that was promised. At least for now, of course. They'll patch it in later, but we talked about this months and months ago about how it was kind of lackluster, this expansion. The new things that they are bringing into the game with Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah.
So then to remove one of those things, isn't that... I don't know. I don't want to stir conflict. I love Blizzard, but it's unreasonable, I think, to expect things to go well if BlizzCon is before the release of Warlords of Draenor at this point.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, but I'm just. I think we're all a bit baffled by multiple decisions that Blizzard has been making at the moment. I don't know what.
Yeah, we'll talk about the next one after this as well.
Well, why don't we lead it all in right now?
We might as well. So, on Twitter, it was announced that Karabor, so what's Black Temple right now, and the tower in Frostfire Ridge, I forget the exact name, but it's a big tower. I'm sure you've seen it in screenshots and videos and stuff like that. Would be the faction hub for the Horde. It was announced on Twitter that these will no longer be the faction hubs, but instead they'll be hubs on the edge of Ashran. Now, if you don't know, Ashran is the PvP zone that's like a combination of Wintergrasp and Alterac Valley. That's coming to Draenor. So, yeah, first reactions on that. No Karabor for the Alliance.
I think it's bullshit. I think it's pure and simple bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I really was looking forward to having, like, a new, really big capital city. I mean, especially Karabor is like, it's a place with a lot of lore and history.
It's iconic.
Sorry?
It's iconic.
It's very iconic. I mean, Karabor, that was Black Temple, right?
Where was the Horde place meant to be?
In Frostfire Ridge, there's a big-ass awesome tower there, which would have been the faction hub for the Horde. It's fit them quite well.
That's actually the definition of it. A big-ass, huge-ass, very cool tower.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's actually the new name for the spire.
Big-ass tower.
Yes.
Big ass tower.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
exactly, yeah.
Welcome to the big ass tower.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So... Oh, don't dive, Maz. You still have to finish this podcast. After that, you can die. But, yeah, I think it's really shit that Karabor has been taken away from us, and I don't know what is going to come for it now. Have they said anything on that, Messi, or is it still just a blank at the moment?
Well, they're gonna be two hubs on the opposite sides of Ashran. They're outside the actual PvP zone, so you won't be forced into PvP. But all the portals and vendors and stuff like that will be in those two hubs. And Ashran is actually the island to the right of Tanan Jungle. I don't know if you've seen the map of whole Draenor. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
But there's one unexplored island there off to the side. That's Ashran. So the faction hub is going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have to use, I'm guessing, a portal then to the main Draenor continent, or otherwise flying, not mounts, but the taxis, griffins, etc., stuff like that,
Yeah.
to actually get back to the mainland. So, I don't know, I was really looking forward to the capital, actually, on Draenor, these big iconic places. And now they're just going to be these unknown hubs, somewhere
Yeah, I
on an
think.
island.
Okay, let's put it this way. The only thing I can think of, you two know your law 10 times better than me. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
We will.
The big fat ass tower
Yes.
that was going to be created, in law sense, probably isn't as well known as.
Oh no, that's one's new
Terrible.
because Frostfire Ridge is
Yeah,
entirely
is
new.
no. They so they were probably, and I presume it may be slightly hoardy people, were partly maybe bitching the fact that they're going to be having the Alliance have got this big iconic main city.
Do you want to
And
correct him or shall I?
you correct me.
You
All
correct
right.
you. Correct you.
So, well, if you look at the forums now, Horde and Alliance are both extremely mad at the fact that they won't get these awesome big hubs. Because the Horde players have now obviously also seen the big ass tower in Frostfire Ridge and are quite excited about it. But the choice was purely from a design perspective because, hey, you go as Horde and Alliance into this savage world of Draenor, and you build up your garrison, your base there. And they felt it was unlogical to then have your main faction hub be in the city of some other faction, whether it's the Draenei or Frostwolves. So they felt it was better that you, as Alliance, set up your own faction hub to make your major base of operations together with your garrison. And that's their reasoning behind it. And I have to admit, the reasoning is quite logical. It's just you first announce these very awesome faction hubs, and then you take it away. And I know it's alpha/beta, and things change, and people shouldn't be upset about it. It's unreasonable to be because the game isn't out, nothing is final. But still.
But still, I mean, we have to deal with the information that we receive at the moment. I mean, at this moment, the information is shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we just comment on what we seem fit. To be honest, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, as for people bitching and such, I mean, it was from both sides now that they wanted it and they take it away. So of course, Blizzard is. I don't know if this is a sorry, Matt, you're distracting me. But no, but
Keep your
it's,
football out of Skype chat.
but no, I mean everybody was excited for it, and now it's get taken away. So of course, and especially with Blizzard's reputation being poor as it is now, it's not a good decision. How to say it, support wise or like people wise. So I'm gonna wonder how they are gonna do this correctly so that they will get people off of their backs. But I fairly doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I said, that they're meant to be big on community. That's the whole thing. We are big on community, man. It doesn't seem that way at the moment, but as we've said, we'll find out. We'll find out what's happening.
Yeah. So on the subject of faction hubs, one of the tweets the devs tweeted out was the question: which hub has been the best hub? So we have the choice out of Dalaran, Shatrath City, Stormwind, and Orgrimmar, and the shrines in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. I'm pretty sure all our answers will be the same. But Matt, which was your favorite hub?
Well, as I spoke to you earlier, I did say that I made a mistake. Because I actually said, I posted on that thing and put Stormwind, Orgrimmar, go for the old-fashioned ones, but I actually thought about it a bit more afterwards. Because I do like having a central hub that is basically a central hub for one faction and another faction somewhere else. I like that fact. And I haven't really felt it. I don't really like the shrine in the new. I think it's crap. It doesn't feel like look over yonder. Oh, look at the horde in an identical thing that we have.
Almost
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
Oh.
copy paste.
Copy.
It really is.
What we shall do, we shall make a nice base, and then we shall copy and paste.
Yes.
Copy and paste that in the exact same angle on another cliff
Yes.
on the opposite side of a big temple.
Exactly.
Yes, but
Brilliant.
But you know what they do to throw you off? Because I character boosted my horde character like
Oh,
a
yeah.
week or so ago. The upper level they mirrored, so where the portals and such are is on the
so-
opposite side of where
The
they are for the
bastards.
Alliance, for example.
How
Yeah.
dare they?
It's
Yes, I mean-
fucking annoying.
But that's the big difference between the two.
It doesn't bother me anyway, because I always go the wrong way anyway.
Yes, but Matt, you're special.
What? So special?
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah.
No. But so my personal favourite, and that's completely biased because it is my favourite expansion as well, is Shatrath in TBC. I like the grand nature of it. I like the way I like the quest set around it the first time round when you actually got sort of a guided tour of the place.
Yeah.
And I like how it worked. I just did quite like a lot about that place, and was a little bit gutted when afterwards. I didn't like Dalaran at all. I thought Dalaran was annoying. Maybe a bit harsh to think it was annoying, but it was really, really annoying.
Yeah.
And I say the shrine is there. The shrine is somewhere just for you thingy bobs. Trying to think of the question. The shrine is just there to get quests, and so you can teleport to other places. I don't like it at all. So Shatrath.
Yeah. I expected that. LJ, your favorite?
Yeah, same. Shatrath, definitely. I mean, just takes me back to the old to Burning Crusade, but I mean, Shatrath was. It could have been a bit. It was a bit of a not really maze, but a bit annoying sometimes. But I don't know. It's still, I think
You
it
couldn't
has
always
more.
find the vendor. That's
No,
my
exactly.
issue.
There were so many vendors in the lower city. It was so annoying sometimes. But it was for the rest. I mean, it was just. I liked it. It had a lot of atmosphere. Dalaran had also a lot of atmosphere. I agree upon that, but I just don't know. I think it was too small, basically, to really be a big capital. I mean, Stormwind and Orgrimmar are huge, and Shatrath as well compared to Dalaran. I mean, it's just I like a capital city to be big and have big influence and stature in a expansion.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Just need to find the words.
Yeah, well, it'll be no surprise that my favorite is also Shatrath. Also because the Burning Crusade is my favorite expansion. I feel like the Burning Crusade hit the mark on most things in that expansion.
Yeah, I just think at the time it's sort of. We've said this many times. TBC, the whole learning experience, like the whole way you were going through the portal. And when you sort of got there was a big battle happening as you got there, so there was a bit few quests, and I quite like the war-torn nature of the first zone. It suits very, very well, but then you get to Zangarmarsh, the next zone. Zangarmarsh is quite different to sort of, I think the only zone that could sort of, only two zones really, a bit of Ungoro crater in there and a bit of swamps.
Swamp of Sorrow.
Swamp Sorrow. Sort of a mixture of those two. A bit wet, big buggy, but I quite like that zone. Then you've got Tracker Forest, where the main area is, which is a pretty cool zone, split into almost two. That was a massive zone. And
Yeah.
I just like the dungeons. I like how many dungeons there were and how hard they were.
Yeah.
I could say, I've said this before, I can remember a lot. And I think that's partly why I say Shatrath. It may not be the best city. It was just, for me, it was the best time in WoW.
Yeah, and one thing I liked about it as well, it was central. You could go to every zone via Shatrath. You had the I'm actually forgetting the zone name. The name of the zone where Shattrath was in.
Tarakar Forest.
That's the one, Terakar.
The one I
You had
said.
Terakar straight away. You had the elemental platform up to the west, or northwest really.
Yeah.
And then, of course, well, Netherstorm you had to fly further for, but that was okay. It was Netherstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netherstorm.
Yeah, and one thing you did say though, Matt, was about having the factions two different hubs, but that wasn't the case in the Burning Crusade. So I didn't
No,
mind though. You did
not-
have the difference between the Aldor and the Sun Fury or something like that.
Scryers.
Scryer.
Oh yeah, the Scryers. Those were the guys. Blood Elves and Draenei at any rate. So you did have that faction, I guess, rivalry in the city. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. I like that.
It did spread out to the people over the over the city
Two
as well.
areas. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you looked at them, they were almost completely the same, except for a few reputation items, reputation vendor items. I mean, for the rest, they were pretty much the same. But I mean, it still was nice to also because they were the two released races in that expansion. So actually, to pit them against each other in that way as well was also, I think, a good decision.
Yeah.
And it just gave life as well to the city, I think.
Yeah, the city was definitely alive. Lots of NPCs were busy. Cadger's pets giving people tours.
That that lasted for an hour, though they said
yeah.
they shouldn't take very long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the funny thing
Biggest
is,
lie
though-
in the game.
Yes. So once we do get back into the beta, and we'll put this in the garrison video as well, Cadger's pet is in the Alliance garrison.
Oh no!
And he's willing to give people tours.
I like that. That's good.
So yeah, that'll be a good throwback to the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, it would be, and I'm already looking forward to it. I mean, I've been on the I did the starting event, which was, I have to say, a lot of fun. I rushed through it because, well, basically, the server was shit as hell, so I was just looking and seeing what you were able to do, but and take some screenshots, of course, for Mr. Mezzi. But
You mean for the website? You were also part of WoW Weekly, you know.
I did it for the website, not for Mezzi. But I'm scared. But no, I mean, it was a lot of fun with Khadgar and a lot of old faces and a lot of old characters that just were back again.
Yeah, let me
Basically.
ask you something.
No.
Because you actually have done Tanan Jungle now, had the starting experience. Are there any vehicles involved?
Are there any vehicles involved?
Yes.
Is it in the words of
No.
Good.
Not as far as I
Fast
know.
and the Furious? Is it vehicular warfare?
Okay. I don't watch those movies, so I'm just going to ignore that, Matt.
No, Matt. There is a little bit at the end, but it's more with a cannon and not a vehicle. So yeah.
Okay. So at that point, at least when it actually goes live, and everyone is in the same zone because Blizzard still doesn't learn from their mistakes, we won't at least have 3 hours of delay because the vehicles aren't working right.
Yep.
Good. That's all I need to know.
That was the best part. That was an amazing program. Amazing part of it. You didn't like that. What was it not to like?
Yeah, because it's not like it was stressful or anything when you were trying to go for level 90 first.
Yeah, we didn't lose any time there at all.
No. We should have just gone into dungeons like the others.
Yeah.
Oh man, the bad memories. Let's move on. So, last week we didn't have the podcast because, let's face it, there wasn't much to talk about. So we haven't talked about our run through Blood Maw slag mines yet. Now, Matt, you've only seen videos. LJ has done the run with me. So let's start with LJ. What are your thoughts on the first dungeon in Warlords of Draenor?
Well, there were bosses and mobs. No, sorry, but I think it was. I think it was Not bad. I mean, the third boss was kind of fun. That was really something new. You know, the bridge boss. But for the rest, it
Yeah.
wasn't something. The whole dungeon wasn't new. There weren't that much new things, and it was fun healing with, especially with all the revamps of the classes and such. So I really had to relearn
With
the
your
healing.
2 spells, your whole
That's
two spells.
my 2 spells. It's Burning Crusade all over again. Hooray! Flash of Light and Divine Light now, or Holy Light. What they renamed it again? I think it's like the 4th time it's been renamed, that spell. But no, I enjoyed it as a whole. I mean, we're done in like what, half an hour?
I
Hour?
think we were long. We took a bit longer. I mean, we wiped. We had a random mage.
Who wasn't too bad, to be honest. But yeah,
No, he just went AFK after the first boss for a while.
yep,
Or, well, a few minutes, but it felt like a while.
yep. But no, I mean, for dungeon, it wasn't. For starting dungeon, it wasn't too bad. There's been way worse. So yeah.
Yeah. Matt, do you have anything to say from videos that you've seen?
Well, so yeah, from the videos, it just looks like a pretty decent starting dungeon. You've got a bit of flexibility. You've got you can go left or right. Ooh, choices.
You have to go. If you go right, you have to go left eventually anyway. So I mean, it's Blizzard.
So it does look all right. It's not too bad. And again, I saw the video for the third boss, and the third boss looks fun, a little bit different. It's got an interesting like rage mechanic. It doesn't look overly difficult. It's avoid the crap. That boss is
Which can be pretty difficult, especially seeing as I'm a static healer. So
yeah, that boss is the epitome of don't stand in the fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
But it looks all right, and the problem is the depth in the details. How hard is it going to be? Because they're doing a heroic version. I've completely forgot. There'll be heroic versions of all the dungeons again, won't they?
Oh, yeah.
And again, how hard's that going to be? Is it just going to be a complete walkthrough? Or should that be the first one once you're level 90 that takes 45 minutes to clear but isn't particularly too hard?
Well, the heroics are going to be on the level of the pinnacle one from Cataclysm in the Sky.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So it's not going to be the Burning Crusade levels, but it's not going to be Mist of Pandaria either.
Yeah,
So
that's
for
still
seasoned
fun.
veterans, it'll still be relatively easy.
Yeah.
But at least it should be a bit more entertaining than the.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
mod ones
Vortex
were.
Pinnacle, Vortex Pinnacle wasn't
That's the one. Yes.
particularly very hard. But we'll see. So one day I might be able to even do it on beta. You never know.
Who knows? Who knows?
One day. I mean, seeing as you're agonizing about it anyway, Rolf got an invite before you, and he just got it randomly.
I know, it's shocking.
So yeah, as far as the Bloodmaw Slagmines goes, the highlight is the third boss, because he's actually different. You have to dodge moving boulders, you have to not stand in the fire as the bridge keeps getting more engulfed in fire. The other 3 bosses suffer from the same thing that Siege Orgrimmar suffers. Ads. Oh look, more ads. Oh
Because
look,
that makes
again.
more ads equals more difficult equals more fun, right, guys?
Oh no.
Right?
I mean, the second boss, or first boss if you go to the left first, with the 2 boss phases, sure, that works.
That's the boss where you basically kill sort of the sub boss first, and he has some of the abilities of the main boss.
Yeah.
Then the big fire main boss come out,
And
has
you have
the
to
same abilities.
interrupt, so that's some complexity, I guess. Otherwise, you have to dispel his, whatchamacallit? Yeah, his buff that he gets if he casts his fireball thing, which hurts the tank as well. So there's some difficulty in that one, so it does have some ads which, I don't know, we've complained about this, about Siege of Rock as well. Stop it with all the ads, it doesn't make the fight more interesting. Ads should be used sparingly, not on every single boss.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this won't be something we see in all dungeons.
Because we are going to do a run tomorrow night, hopefully, if I can maybe hack somebody's details.
Yeah. And we'll live stream that as well. So tomorrow evening, if LJ and I don't have raids, because we don't know that yet.
I shouldn't have.
Okay, well, I might, because they didn't raid on Thursday.
Well, we don't need you anyways.
Yeah, because it's not like I do the actual recording or anything.
No.
No, exactly. You can always make screenshots and put them on the website, so...
Yeah, exactly.
that aside. It's decent for a first dungeon. I really like the third boss. I hope we see more unique stuff like that in the other dungeons. I hope we don't see ads on every single fight in the other dungeons. Other than that...
take it easy, man. I mean, them be fighting words.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'm looking forward to seeing the heroic version of Boss 3. And hopefully more interesting mechanics for the others on heroic as well. And I don't think anything else needs to be said about the dungeon, unless you guys have any final words on it.
No, I don't think so. I think everything you've pretty much said, we've all said, makes relative sense, just about.
Yeah.
Just about, okay.
For
I'll
once.
take it. For once, yeah, sure. Because I never base anything I say on logic.
No, never.
No, never. I'm a very emotional person, aren't I?
Okay, never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I couldn't keep my
am
face straight for that.
emotional.
Mr. Android.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's move on to the discussion point, shall we?
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes, you've been forgetting a lot of things today, Matt, so...
It's that your head is attached to your body.
Yes. Even with me being sick, I'm still thinking more clearly than you, so you should be ashamed.
Yeah, but that isn't something new.
No, I guess that's true. Anyway, so this week, some legendary items, or rather, crafting materials were data mined by MMO Champion. There were 3 of them. They looked like 3 different types of cores, so I assume they're just one-time collect items. And basically the discussion point for this week is, should Warlords of Draenor have a legendary quest chain like Mist of Pandaria, or should we go back to an older legendary quest model, and if so, which one? I think LJ has started for the majority of the things, so Matt, let's have you go.
Please
first.
no. Oh, I understand the concept of keeping everybody involved. I do. And I know for a fact that, like, in the past expansions, only certain classes have got this, and only certain classes have got that. But it's just so depressing that you think, oh, what should I do now? Oh, I've got that part of the legendary quest to do. Oh, that's so fun. Yay. Oh,
It's a big grind fest.
Next patch out. I've got the next patch. Oh, look, I've got to grind more. Like, come on, look at this event. Actually, look at the quest deep down into it. It has been badly done from the word off. It's not been a very enjoyable experience getting on legendary quest. I don't feel that I've got a big reward for getting my legendary quest. It just feels that it's been a grind fest. Like, when you are doing the main, if you play for the whole expansion, like I have, like you have, and you raid, you are going to get the legendary quest by default.
Even if you do LFR weekly, you'll get it.
You are going to get the legendary by default. There is no big achievement to having a legendary quest. And I just think the word legendary to me is
hollow.
It should be Wind Fury item or the Akash. Well, I can't pronounce. Do you know what I'm talking about? It should be for the bow off Kil'jaeden. Stuff like that are legendary items that people. Wind Fury has got into other games that they've done. It's such a legendary item.
Yeah.
I just don't think saying, here you go, have a nice cloak with a few stats on it, and then to take the piss, and sorry Blizzard, this is taking the piss, put copious amounts of cloak items on the bosses in Siege of Orgrimmar. You sit there going, but most people on the mains have got a decent cloak. Why?
Yep.
Yeah, and an added annoyance to that is, which we're noticing with me having to reroll for the remainder of this expansion, is that heroic modes are pretty much, at least the later ones, are balanced around you having the legendary cloak. It isn't seen as anything extra, but it's rather mandatory. For
And that's
example,
the
for
whole problem.
tanks.
That's the whole thing, the whole problem at the moment. I think, then, because legendary
It should be
it's
a
a
bonus.
it should be a bonus exactly. But at the moment, with how the legendary quest is built up, it's not bonus; it's mandatory. Exactly what you say. I mean, everybody needs to have it, especially if you want to rate decently in a higher level. Everybody will need it. Everybody will have to go through the same process of just mind-numbingly grinding everything. And I mean, it's just insane at the moment how it goes. I mean, it's okay. It's and I thought it was a pretty interesting quest line with Rathian. I mean, that's a very good character that they're building up. But I think it's not interesting enough to actually, make a make it worth it all. Of course, you get a legendary and you have some good bonus stuff on it that does a lot of damage or healing or whatever. That also depends because, well, the healing proc is much better for, like, I think a druid than for me as a paladin. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane at the moment that the way it's built up, because, like you said, like a Valanir and a Tish and what was the bow's name?
Glaives.
The glaives. I mean, everything that those were legendaries because they were optional, but everybody wanted them because they were optional and they were rarely seen. And if you had them, you were somebody. Now everybody and their grandmother has the legendary cloak.
What I think they should do, I think they should go into the realms again of what they did with some of the original ones, but make it a bit more varied. So maybe have a selection where it does not matter who in the guild you are going to work towards getting the legendary. It could be a DPS, it could be done by lots, it could be this. But just give people like a choice when okay, you might have to get a few items through raiding, which is fine because at the end of the day, it's most likely a bonus that raiders will get.
Yeah.
And I always think if you're going to get a legendary, a weapon is a better way of doing it. It feels better. I just don't see the cloak as a big as you said, it's mandatory. No one. If you play any other game, it's sort of like, oh look, I have a cloak. It's so nice. What do you think?
Yeah.
And
But would you go classic and the Burning Crusade route, or Wrath of the Lich King, where the class has to collect the Frost Shards, for example, or the Valanir fragments?
I quite like. The problem is, I quite like the way of doing it in Wrath of the Lich King because the guild got a reward at the end of the day. Now, I don't know how other guilds did it. Our guild, in my eyes, were very, very fair. Were very, very good in the way they handled it. We spread them out quite nicely. We were very, very even with everything we did, and I thought it was a really good way of doing it. Like people don't know, we were in a guild, and what happened when someone got the reward of the Shadowmourne, we basically spread all the items out. Everybody rolled who wanted an item. The person who had the highest roll had first choice, person on second, just there and there and there and there, and so on. And it worked out really, really well. Issues that I think the older versions would have is limiting it to one or two classes, maybe a bit of a portion. I don't think it will go very well down nowadays. But I think if you did something like that where there was, again, a bit more of a reward. I know I've got a little trinket that turns me into a dwarf. I think LJ got the mounts.
I have Invincible, but I got the music box.
I have the Crimson Death Charger.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it was really everyone got certain things from it. That was quite good because it did involve the guild as well, you'd probably have to select who got the item, fair enough, but then the guild knew they were going to get something from it as well, which is a nice way of doing it. I just don't think that, say, we've said before, the legendary, it just does not feel legendary. It feels a bit of a gimme, it feels a bit of a freebie. I don't feel that I've worked hard for my legendary cloak. I'm trying to do it now. My ult, I just can't be bothered. People sit there going, "But you work." No, it's not working hard. It's basically
raiding, just raiding.
I'm raiding. It's doing LFR. Now,
it's
come on.
nothing special.
Come on, I'm doing LFR on my ult.
No.
Okay, if I succeed and do LFR on my ult, then it is a bit of a challenge because it's one of the most depressing things known to man.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But I think the Wrath of the Lich King way worked very, very well, and I think that is the way to do it.
Yeah,
It's about the only thing Wrath got right.
Well, I didn't even think about that. With Shadowmourne, that you would also get the cash to spread loot among your guildies. That's actually a really good thing. What I would then like to see is a la Classic and the Burning Crusade, with just a random drop, and then you also get a cash to reward people outside of that set of classes that are able to get the legendary. That's actually a really good system. It makes the legendary special, it feels as an extra, and then the other people, or the raiders in your team, don't feel as slighted because they have a chance of getting, for example, a special mount, or a toy, or was there anything else? Just the toys in the mount, right?
I think it was a toy music. Yeah, it was a music box.
Music box, the dwarf mount, teleport,
tabard,
and tabard.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted that tabard so badly.
It does look pretty good. But yeah, that would actually be a really good system. I really don't hope everyone gets the legendary cloak type thing again in Warlords, where at the end the heroic raid is balanced around having the legendary cloak, at least the later bosses. And
well, to be fair, a lot of specs. I think shaman spec as well. As long as you have the, I think, 4-set cloak and that, you can set specs around the cloak, if you know what I mean, which you shouldn't be able to do. We've done. I know someone was spamming it, but I can't remember who it was. Someone was in an LFR when a druid, he was just spamming one particular heal. The cloak buff actually made them look half decent because of how much healing it did for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on the legendaries in Warlords of Draenor?
Well, for me, it's exactly the same as we've said already. I just hope they don't do it as something so painfully boring of what they have done.
Agreed. I think that's all we have to say for this week. So, I'd like to thank for the viewers for watching. If you liked this video, you can comment, subscribe, click on the like button.
Or live stream.
Or live stream, yes, or live stream. If you like the live stream, you can, of course, follow us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/bbmezzy. YouTube is youtube.com/bbmezzy, which is probably the way you're looking at the podcast right now. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/wowweekly, Twitter at twitter.com/bbmezzy, and you can, of course, check out our website, wowweekly.net, where we keep the site updated with news regarding everything World of Warcraft, sometimes Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm as well. For Hearthstone, the Naxxramas expansion is coming out probably next month. The gold prices and stuff like that will be announced on July 1st, which is next Tuesday. So, we'll finally know how much it will all actually cost. I'd like to thank LJ and Matt for joining me again this week.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
At least you invited me to do something. Blizzard. Well.
Yes.
Well, we'll just take pity on you. That's it, man. Don't think anything special of it.
Maybe now you'll take the podcast more seriously, Vivi.
Shocking.
Good joke, man. Good joke.
I know. It's
Matt
worth
taking
a
something
try.
seriously?
I know. Oh well. Yeah, and then as far as live streaming goes, we'll keep posting on our social media when we are going to live stream. For now, it'll be just like 30 minutes before we actually live stream, but as we get more into a schedule and the habit of live streaming, we'll post it earlier on. And so probably, maybe, if we're not raiding on Monday, we'll be live streaming the World Sojourner beta. So check that out, probably Monday evening. It'll be around maybe 9 p.m. I'm not sure yet. We'll tweet that out. As well as on Facebook and Google+. Thanks for watching. I'm Mezzy, and we'll see you again next time.
See ya.